If I love you, I'm in love with you. I don't give a fuck how many times we get it, we bump heads.
That's real.
You make me mad. I'm in love with you. Don't down me. I need you.
Man, so people saying Memphis rapper Fast Cash C Money just passed away. For the people that don't recognize him, he had the viral song High Off Me that went viral. If I ain't tripping, I think that's his biggest song, but he sadly just passed away.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me.
Big Boogie just lit the streets on fire. And this time, he slipped up in a way that can't be ignored. He hinted that C Money might not have just died randomly. He might have been sacrificed. And who's the man Boogie is pointing at? None other than his own label boss, Yo Gotti. That's right. The same man who built CMG might be the very one standing in the shadows of its darkest scandal.
What happened, gang? They just said my got killed.
Boogie isn't hiding behind loyalty anymore. He's done protecting CMG's dirty secrets. He came forward claiming there's a whole other side to C Money's tragic death.
How I feel right now? 100%. I don't fuck with nobody. And I'm finna make everybody regret playing with me. That's all I gotta say.
One where someone at the top stood to benefit the most. He's not just calling out names, he's exposing cracks in the empire that Yo Gotti built brick by brick. And the wildest part? He's doing it knowing full well the fire he just started could burn the whole label down. People are now asking, was C Money's death just another Memphis hit in the long line of tragedies the city's seen? Or was this the ultimate betrayal from inside CMG's own circle? The whispers are turning into shouts, and the streets are buzzing louder than ever. The whole storm began when Boogie posted a cryptic video on his socials. It was short, slick, and faceless. No camera on him, just his voice. At first, Boogie had everybody scratching their heads trying to decode what he was really saying. But then he dropped another cryptic IG story that made the picture way clearer. He wrote, "I'm focusing on my daughter, myself, and my career. I ain't letting nobody get in my way. It's gonna be 2026. I'm changing day by day as a man. People barely ask me about my mental. I barely even talk to anybody now. I don't care to. Everybody that ever played with me before made me this way. Today I'm focused because I see a bigger picture of my own life. Numb and grinding." He didn't need to say Yo Gotti or C Money. The shade was written all over it. The message was cold, final, and clear as day. Big Boogie was done protecting anybody. His fans instantly picked up on the vibes, and within minutes, the internet was already connecting the dots. See, long before Boogie's post, people were already whispering about C Money's death. It looked too perfect, too sharp, almost staged. It didn't feel like some random street tragedy. It felt like somebody wanted him gone. And when Boogie admitted he didn't care anymore, when he flat out said he was numb, that was the green light for fans to start screaming this wasn't coincidence, this was a setup. C Money, real name Fast Cash C Money, was gunned down during a shootout in the Fraser neighborhood of Memphis. At first, the story sounded like just another heartbreaking headline. Senseless street violence, wrong place at the wrong time. But the second the raw, uncut footage hit the internet, everything changed. Suddenly, it didn't look random at all. The way it played out, the way it unfolded, it looked like somebody knew exactly where to find him and exactly when to strike. And here's the bombshell. People close to C Money later claimed he felt the tension weeks before his death. He allegedly told folks he knew something was coming down the pipeline. He even hinted at making sure his girl and kids would be taken care of if anything happened. That's exactly why C Money had been grinding so hard to lock in a deal with Yo Gotti and officially sign under CMG. But here's the twist. Sources say he didn't just chase the contract. He also went out and secured a life insurance policy as a safety net for his girlfriend and his kids. That move right there made people's skin crawl because it shows he was already thinking about what might happen if the worst came true. But the shock didn't stop there. After his death, his girlfriend Kaya set up a GoFundMe page to cover funeral expenses and to help raise his kids. She shared the link on Facebook along with a heartbreaking tribute. She wrote, "Courtney taught me so much, so happy we got to love on each other. You took my heart with you for real. All I can do is play your music to hear your voice." The post left people stunned. Fans couldn't wrap their heads around it. Why was his family out here asking for donations if he had taken out insurance and just signed a deal with one of the biggest labels in Memphis. C-Money didn't strike people as the type to leave his family empty-handed, so if the rumors about the policy and his contract were true, then why was his girlfriend forced to beg the internet for help? That's when things got messier. A leaked document popped up on Reddit, allegedly showing parts of C-Money's contract with CMG. According to the leak, there was supposed to be some kind of payout connected to his death, but when people went digging, that money was nowhere to be found. Poof, just vanished like it never existed. And while all this chaos was unfolding, everyone had their eyes on Yo Gotti. People expected him to at least show some love, a tribute, a post, a visit to the family, something. After all, C-Money had just been connected to CMG, and whether Gotti liked it or not, that came with responsibility. But what did the family get? Nothing. No post, no flowers, no visit, no money, just cold silence. That silence spoke louder than words. It was like an unspoken confirmation of the rumors. Maybe Gotti let C-Money go to cash in, leaving his family with nothing but pain. And here's the detail that took it from suspicious to straight chilling. C-Money was killed literally one day after inking his deal with CMG. The footage that went viral showed him celebrating with his friends, happy about finally leveling up his career. But in the middle of the celebration, a car pulled up, shots rang out, and in seconds, his dream turned into a nightmare. According to the official police reports, multiple houses got sprayed with bullets during the shootout. Yet somehow, only C-Money ended up dead. Now people are asking, was that really just coincidence? Or was the chaos just a cover-up for the real mission, taking C-Money out? That's when the story goes from suspicious to downright chilling. C-Money was already buzzing as an artist before Yo Gotti ever signed him. The CMG contract was supposed to be his ticket to the big leagues, the move that turned him from a Memphis name into a nationwide star. But soon after inking the deal, he started noticing the cracks.
And dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere you go to, like the Fed watching. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy right here, that boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close right now because they you know what I'm talking about? The case is in August. You know what I'm talking about? I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who set the whole, supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder up.
He wanted to lock in meetings, go over paperwork, plan out a rollout, all the things a serious artist would do to build his career. But Gotti, he wasn't giving that same energy. He was more focused on how C-Money could boost the label's image, not his own dreams. Those red flags didn't go unnoticed. And the breaking point came when Gotti started moving in ways that looked straight up shady. Anyone who knows Memphis street politics understands how deep the tension runs between Yo Gotti's CMG camp and Young Dolph's PRE crew. This wasn't just rap beef. It was a long-standing war that spilled out of the booth and into the streets. When Young Dolph was murdered, all eyes immediately turned to Gotti and his brother Big Jook. Rumors swirled that Big Jook might have even been the one who gave the green light. And when Hernandez Govan, a close friend of Big Jook, got arrested in connection to Dolph's murder, the streets didn't see that as coincidence. They saw it as proof that the CMG camp was knee-deep in the mess. But here's the part that made it even darker. Not long after, Big Jook himself lost his life in an eerily similar shooting. Some called it karma, others called it straight-up retaliation. Either way, it showed that the pressure around CMG wasn't slowing down, it was stacking higher. And through all of this, Yo Gotti kept running CMG like a mob boss. He built his empire on strict rules, loyalty above all, and absolute control. People who've been around him say he thrives on hierarchy. The boss sits at the top, everyone else falls in line. And the one unspoken law? You do not cross Gotti unless you're ready to deal with his wrath. For a while, CMG looked unstoppable. From Glorilla to 42 Doug, Moneybag Yo, and even Black Youngster, Yo Gotti had built a roster that labels would kill for. It was an empire stacked with names, each one making noise in the game. But after Young Dolph's murder, that same mob boss style that fans once admired suddenly became a curse. Instead of looking powerful, it made Gotti look like the face of everything dark tied to street beef and gang life. Slowly but surely, CMG started crumbling. One by one, artists slipped into the background, lost momentum, or simply stopped hitting like they used to. The only one still holding the label up today is Glorilla. And as talented as she is, one artist alone can't keep a whole empire afloat. For Gotti, this wasn't the dynasty he dreamed of when he first built CMG. The empire was shaking, and he knew it. That's when he started making silent, sneaky moves. He laid low, posted less on socials, and according to whispers, even went back to the drawing board on certain contracts. The word in Memphis was clear. Yo Gotti was trying to rebuild his image, flip the story, and distance himself from the blood and chaos. And to do that, he needed to cut off anyone who didn't fall in line. Take Black Youngster, for example. He's been Gotti's most loyal soldier for years. The muscle, the enforcer, the one who handled things Gotti didn't want his own hands on. That kind of loyalty worked perfectly back when CMG's image was built on that mobster reputation. But now, with Gotti trying to rebrand as a clean businessman, Black Youngster's muscle role became more of a liability than an asset. That's why Gotti started looking for a new face, a new artist who could carry CMG into the future without all the baggage. And that's where C Money came in. On paper, he was perfect, fresh, hungry, talented, and clean enough to market. He could have been the piece Gotti needed to shift the whole CMG story. But here's the twist. Gotti didn't bring C Money in to build him up. He brought him in to use him. At first, C Money brushed off the red flags, too excited about the opportunity to see what was really happening. But once Gotti started moving funny, the reality hit him. Signing with CMG wasn't a blessing. It was a trap. Because joining CMG didn't just put him on the radar for Gotti's rivals in Memphis, it put him in danger inside the label itself. And when the truth came out, people realized Gotti wasn't hunting for a new star. For Yo Gotti, C Money wasn't just another artist, he was the escape plan. A fresh face Gotti could push forward while he stepped back from the heat. But when C Money's life was cut short, the entire CMG camp felt the shockwave. Out of everyone, though, the one hit hardest was Big Boogie. His grief spilled out in real time for the world to see. Right after the news broke, Boogie posted a raw message that shook fans. He wrote, "C Money Smith, Jesus brother, I'm hurt to my heart. My favorite rapper from day one, I'm hurt about you, boy." That wasn't just mourning, it was a full breakdown. You could feel the pain pouring out of him, and the grief didn't stop there. Boogie went as far as canceling his highly anticipated birthday bash, which was supposed to go down in Memphis. He dropped the announcement in another Facebook post saying, "I'm straight on Memphis. Birthday bash canceled. You guys lame forever." He even tagged C Money with crying emojis. It was short, blunt, and emotional. Outsiders might have thought it was just a man grieving his friend, but people in the rap scene knew better. They saw it for what it really was. Boogie trying to lay low and avoid becoming the next target in a bloody cycle. And plenty of fans agreed it was the smartest move he could have made. The comment sections lit up with people saying things like, "That was a good idea, bro, you just saved people's lives." Another wrote, "He threw a pool party in my city, Atlanta, because he knew if he would have did it in Memphis, it would have went sour. Do your birthday bash in Atlanta, gang." But the story didn't end with that one post. Since C Money's death, Boogie started dropping a series of cryptic messages that had fans worried. In one post he wrote, "Everybody finna regret what they did," and said, "Watch this." In another he warned, "Going silent is my final warning." At first, nobody really paid attention to those words. They looked like venting, maybe just frustration. But now, with C Money gone, Yo Gotti moving funny, and the streets whispering louder every day, those posts don't look random anymore. They look like Boogie's way of sending a message and hinting that the storm around CMG was just getting started. Those posts from Boogie don't feel like random venting anymore. They read like straight up warnings. And just when things couldn't get any darker, Stan G stepped in with a chilling bomb during a no-jumper interview. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. He flat out told Black Youngster and the rest of CMG to watch their backs. According to Stan, Yo Gotti doesn't just cut people off the label, he cuts them off from life itself. That message shook fans to the core, especially because it came while the whole CMG family was still grieving C Money's death. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was a death sentence being spoken out loud. Suddenly, the spotlight wasn't just on Gotti, it was on Big Boogie, the only one brave enough to keep throwing shade, dropping hints, and demanding answers. But here's the part that's got the streets buzzing. If Gotti really did have a hand in what happened to C Money, then what makes Boogie safe? His silence might not be peace, it might be protection. Like he knows saying too much could seal his fate. It feels less like a break from social media and more like a countdown clock ticking away. And the scariest thought of all, if Gotti is already searching for his next fall guy, then Big Boogie might be walking into the same deadly trap that C Money never escaped from. Fans are whispering it, insiders are hinting at it, and every cryptic post Boogie makes adds fuel to the fire. Is CMG eating its own from the inside out? Now the million-dollar question, is Big Boogie gearing up to expose CMG before it's too late? Because from the outside looking in, it feels like he's inching closer and closer to pulling the trigger on the truth. Every post he drops, every cryptic word, it's like he's daring Yo Gotti to make a move. Fans are starting to say Boogie isn't just grieving, he's documenting. Almost like he's leaving a trail. So if anything ever happens to him, the world already knows where to look. The tension is so heavy you can feel it. Memphis is whispering. Industry blogs are speculating and fans are piecing it together like detectives. And the rumors are ugly. Whispers that Boogie's about to drop music laced with subliminals about CMG, or even worse, that he's planning to sit down for an interview and finally spill it all. If that happens, CMG could implode from the inside out. Meanwhile, Gotti's silence is deafening. No statements, no clapbacks, no damage control, and that's making things look worse because the more he ignores it, the guiltier he looks in the eyes of the fans. Even insiders close to CMG are starting to distance themselves, dropping vague comments like, "Things ain't what they seem," and "Watch who you trust." But here's the most dangerous part. Boogie might not realize how thin the line is that he's walking. C-Money didn't survive it, and if the conspiracy theories hold weight, Boogie's name might already be on the chopping block. His silence feels less like safety and more like strategy, like he's waiting for the perfect moment to flip the whole story on its head. Whispers are turning into roars, and all eyes are locked on Big Boogie. If he really knows what went down with C-Money, then every second he stays quiet feels like the calm before the storm. Fans are convinced he's sitting on something huge, maybe texts, maybe calls, maybe even paperwork that could expose Yo Gotti and tear CMG apart forever. But here's the catch. Staying silent might not protect him much longer. Memphis streets got a long memory, and people are saying Boogie's next move could decide whether he makes it out or ends up in the same tragic chapter as C-Money. Insiders claim Boogie's been moving different lately. Fewer public appearances, less time in the city, and way more cryptic posts hinting that he knows way too much. That kind of energy has the internet asking, is Boogie living in fear or gearing up to drop a bomb? Meanwhile, the streets are still dissecting every angle of C-Money's death. The footage, the contracts, the silence from Gotti, all of it looks too clean, too calculated. And now that Boogie's name keeps circling in the mix, it feels like history could repeat itself right in front of us. Fans are literally commenting under his posts, "Don't end up like C-Money, protect yourself." And if you know something, speak before it's too late. And maybe that's the scariest part. Boogie's running out of time. If Gotti really is the mob boss figure people claim, then Boogie's defiance won't go unanswered. It's not a matter of if something happens, but when. He's boxed into a deadly corner. Expose the truth and risk it all, or stay quiet and live with the guilt of knowing what really went down. At this point, it feels less like rap drama and more like a ticking time bomb. CMG once stood tall as Memphis's crown jewel, but now the empire looks cracked, shaky, and ready to collapse. C-Money's death, the leaked documents, Gotti's silence, and Boogie's cryptic warnings. Together, they paint a picture too dark to ignore. Fans aren't just questioning the label anymore, they're questioning the man who built it. Did Yo Gotti really sacrifice his own artist to protect himself? Or is this the biggest misunderstanding in Memphis rap history? What's clear is this: Boogie's caught in the crossfire. Every step he takes is being watched. Every post he makes is being dissected. And every silence is treated like a warning. The streets believe he knows more than he's saying. And the longer he stays quiet, the more dangerous things become. The same label that once promised him opportunity now feels like the very place he has to escape from. Memphis has seen bloodshed before, but this time it feels different. This isn't just about music contracts or even street politics. This is about survival. The empire Gotti worked decades to build could end up collapsing not from rivals, but from the inside out. And if Boogie really is the last man willing to tell the truth, then the fate of CMG might rest entirely on his shoulders. But here's the real question. Will he speak before it's too late, or will C-Money's story just repeat itself all over again? Let me know what you think down below. Is Big Boogie next on the chopping block, or is he about to flip the whole script and bring Yo Gotti's empire crashing down? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this.